Peace, love, and soul. How do you invite people to come? Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Namaste. So, I won't belabor the point. This morning, I am doing a talk from this book, the Kybalion, which I actually got for my birthday. It was a gift for my birthday, so I'm very appreciative of that. And I immediately jumped right into it. I first learned about the 7 Hermetic principles through a video that I saw on YouTube, and I was like, wow, that really resonates with my spirit. It sounds like things that I've been taught and have learned before, and it's universal principles. So I was very interested in that, and like I said, I got the book. So I just wanted to do a quick talk from it this morning because I know everybody's time is valuable. But I just wanted to share some thoughts that I had about it. So I'm going to start on chapter 2. And this is an introduction to the 7 Hermetic principles. And just to give you a little background, it's based on ancient teachings and that were given from mouth to ear from teachers. And it says that, yes, I did, Brother Jihad. Thank you so much for that picture I never got. Anyway, love you, brother. Okay, so the first principle is the principle of mentalism. It says all is mind, the universe is mental. And I'm going to read it, so just bear with me because I have some points that I would like to make from it. It says, this principle embodies the truth that all is mind. It explains that the all, in quotations or in parentheses, which is the substantial reality underlying all the outward manifestations and appearances which we know under the terms of the material universe, the phenomena of life, matter, energy, and in short, all that is apparent to our material senses, closed parentheses, is spirit, which in itself is unknowable and undefinable, but which may be considered and thought of as a universal, infinite, living mind. It also explains that all the which mind we live and move and have our being. No, sir, you didn't see it. Send it. It's all good, brother. This principle, by establishing the mental nature of the universe, easily explains all of the varied mental and psychic phenomena that occupy such a large portion of the public attention, and which, without such explanation, are non-understandable and defy scientific treatment. An understanding of this great Hermetic principle of mentalism enables the individual to readily grasp the laws of the mental universe once again, and to apply the same to his well-being and advancement. The Hermetic student is able to apply intelligently the great mental laws instead of using them in a haphazard manner. With the master key in his possession, the student may unlock the many doors of the mental and psychic temple of knowledge and enter the same freely and intelligently. This principle explains the true nature of energy, power, and matter, and why and how all of these are subordinate to the mastery of the mind. One of the old Hermetic masters wrote long ages ago, "He who grasps the truth of the mental nature of the universe is well advanced on the path to mastery." And these words are as true today as at the time they were first written. Who is blowing up my phone? Really? Without this master key, mastery is impossible, and the student knocks in vain at the many doors of the temple. So That is the first Hermetic principle, the principle of mentalism. The all is mind, the universe is mental. And we're given so many hints to this in scriptures. And sometimes, I know for me, things have gone over my head until it was time for me to understand. And one of the great mantras is, when the student is ready, the teacher will come. And that's one thing that I really discovered in my life. I have come across really great people who are going through the same experiences that I'm going through, the same thought processes that I'm going through. And somehow or another, we find each other and we're able to have these great conversations, and we're like, oh wow, is that what you think too? And it just really turns into this great online study group or a phone call or whatever you want to call it, because you're able to resonate. Well, I have been able to resonate with so many people who are going through the same thing that I'm going through. So when you are ready, you will call into existence that person who is waiting for you to be able to share with you, so that you can build together and have wonderful experiences and wonderful conversations and begin to grow yourself spiritually. So for everybody that's joining, this is the book that I'm coming from this morning, the Kybalion. And we're talking about the first principle of mentalism. The all is mind and the universe is mental. So I know in Islam, and I think also from the Christian point of view, there is a lot of focus on the way we think. Okay, if you've seen me on Facebook or heard any videos that I've done, I always talk about changing the way that we think to change our reality. And in the scriptures, there are hints of that principle, because it says, one of them is that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, spiritual wickedness in high places. And I know when I was coming up, that went right over my head, because from a Christian perspective, I'll just speak personally, we're taught to look outside of ourselves, to look for some greater being that's outside of ourselves is going to solve all of our problems. And that's in large part why we're still in the condition that we're in, because it's not reflective of what's inside of you. It's reflective, supposedly, of what's outside of you. But when you really understand that it all comes from the inside, you understand where your real power is. It says that I wrote it down so I wouldn't start rambling like I do sometimes. It says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And I was just curious as to why it would say, as a man thinketh in his heart. How do you think from your heart? How do you do that? Can somebody answer that question? How do you actually think from your heart? Why does it not say, as a man thinketh in his mind, so is he? What is it about our heart that really, really determines who we are as a being? And how do you actually think from your heart? So that's a good question. I think that could be up for discussion. And then another scripture, it says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all of his righteousness, and all the material things will be added unto you. So if you really understand the concept that the kingdom of God is within you, where else can God dwell except inside of you? So in Islam, we learn to flip that teaching around and understand that, there is this divine spirit that dwells within us. But then it's even more than that. You got to learn how to really cultivate that God within, grow that God within, and then actually bring that God out of you. And like I said, I always talk about how we think about things. We have to change the way we think about things. If we're thinking that there's something outside of yourself that's greater than yourself, that causes a state of victimhood, if you ask me. We have to be willing to look and find and develop that God within us and bring that Godhood outside of us, to change ourselves, to change the way our family is, to change our neighborhoods, to change our communities, and, up until we are changing the whole world with the thought process. It doesn't matter what carnal weapons this world has, because the greatest weapon is right here. And if we're able to get this under control, if we're able to train ourselves to think more on a godly level, if we're able to like the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, control the atmosphere that we carry with us, then that's how we really begin to affect change in the world. So I don't concern myself all the time so much with what other people are doing. I am concerning myself with self-development. And I know that is the teachings say that it's the basis of community development. But I'm really, really understanding that concept more. When we develop ourselves, we are developing the God within us. And that's how we are able to affect change. So for those of you who are just joining us, this is the book that I'm coming from, the Kybalion. This is an ancient teaching, and so many things that I've read in this book have reminded me of what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught us, what the minister tells us all the time. And I saw a tweet from him today that talked about how we need to change our way of thinking to be able to change our environment. And I love him so much because I'm really studying his example and seeing how he's becoming an even more universal teacher. So I'm trying to follow in his footsteps and become more universal in the way that I think. And I have this discussion with a friend of mine all the time. We talk about how the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us a wake up message. And I would say, well, what was he trying to wake us up to? The universality of what we are being given, the universality of our own selves, the universality of this spirit that lies within us. We're all connected, brothers and sisters. We're not different. We're all the same. We all come from the same collective. And once we start seeing the God within each other and connect in that fashion, we can definitely accomplish more. We got to get rid of the envy, the jealousy, the oh, I wish I was, the self-negation, just all of those things that hold us back. And it starts up here. So this principle of all is mind, I bear witness to that, because whatever you see out in the physical world, it is as a result of a thought that somebody had in their mind. So if you're able to, when you are able to check yourself, when you have a negative thought in your mind and you're able to say, nope, that's not me. I don't know who that is, but that's not me. This is what I'm about. I am a God. I'm beautiful. I am strong. I am intelligent. I am prosperous. I am wealthy. I am the master of my circumstances. I am in control of my own life. When we're able to train our minds to think like that on a daily basis, do you know what you can accomplish? I mean, it's so great. And I was looking at the lessons this morning, and it says, who is that mystery God? There is not a mystery God. The Son of Man has searched for that mystery God for trillions of years and was able to find a mystery God. So they have agreed that the only God is the Son of Man. So they lose no time searching for that does not exist. So lose no time searching for something outside of yourself that does not exist. The God force is within you. That's one thing that you can definitely hold as a reality. If you know nothing else, the mystery God does not exist. Look in the mirror. That's what our teacher told us. If you want to see God, look in the mirror. That went over my head too for a long time. Oh, okay. That's what he said. Oh, okay. And then I got it. Right. I am God. I'm in control of my own life. I'm in control of my own circumstances. Everything that is in my life is as a result of my own thought process. And when I want to change, you got to change your mind. You got to change your mind. And he was trying to tell us. And for me, I'm just getting a lot of things. Even though I've been reading this book for years and years and years, it's like I had to wake up again. I had to be reborn again to be able to really understand it. And once again, I want to say I'm grateful for all of those people that I've come across and had great discussions with that I called into existence. They called me into existence. Either way, we called each other into existence, and we were able to vibe and discuss with each other. And I know that there's a great spiritual awakening going on in this world right now. And I'm really, really grateful to be a part of it because, you know, I could be dead sleeping in my grave, as they say in the church. That's a mental thing too. You could be dead in your grave, but circumstances were set up for us to be spiritually awakened at this time. And I'm really, really grateful for that. So at any rate, I'm not going to ramble. But this other book right here, The 4 Agreements, I was talking about that earlier this week. All of that ties into what I'm saying today. Be impeccable with your word. Don't use your word against yourself. That's a part of that changing your thought process. Don't use your words against yourself. You're not poor. You're rich. You're not broke. You're rich. You don't have. Don't say that. Say, I do have. Focus on that. I do have. I am. I will. I do. Change the way we think about ourselves. Change the way we talk to ourselves. And over time, you'll find that it'll change the way you talk to other people. When you hear other people say, I don't have, or I can't, or I won't, you'll correct them immediately and say, no, don't say that. Don't say you're sick. I know it's supposed to be quote unquote flu season around here. But if anybody comes around me saying that they're sick, I immediately stop them in their tracks. No, you're not. Why would you keep saying that for yourself? No, you're not broke. You're not broke at all. You are full. You are full of whatever. You have whatever you need. It's already there. We just have to change it, our thinking up here, to really attract what it is that we want. You know? And I tell you, I'm working it out. I'm working it out. I'm working on the process of being able to manifest what I say, what I think up here, what comes out of my mouth, to what I'm actually able to manifest. So anyway, that's what I want to share with you from this wonderful book. And I'm just on the first principle. The all is mind, the universe is mental. Everything that you see is a manifestation of a mental process that some God had somewhere. Why do you think that the Quran says we? Why does the Bible say we? Because we are a part of that collective consciousness, because we are all working together in concert with each other to create what we see around us. And we can create hell or we can create heaven. But you and I are responsible for that. Not some mystery God, but you and you and you and you and me. We're responsible for that. Okay? So that's all I want to say this morning. I just felt so inspired because I had a great conversation with a good friend of mine. And I just wanted to share some of this love and good thoughts that I have with you all out there in Facebook land. And honestly and truly, I really would like to have a study group to talk about things like this. To talk about the book that Dr. Wesley wrote, the Book of God. That's an awesome book. I'm going to have a study group. I will do that from my own home, and I'm going to invite people to come over and we could just talk about these things and build off of each other. And, you know, that would just be so awesome to me. So if you're down with that, let me know. Okay. So I am going to leave you as I came before you with the greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Namaste. Have an awesome day. Spread love wherever you go. Spread some kind words wherever you go. Don't let people come around you speaking negativity, because then that could possibly become your emotional garbage. Don't let people dump on you. Okay? You stop them right in their tracks. Alrighty. Have a great day. Assalamu alaikum.